This is Paul Erlinson. I'm the Director of Customer Support. We're here at Mix Nashville. I'm joined with Chris Grainger, renowned mix engineer and producer. And we're talking Auroras again for the second day. And just talking to Chris about how he uses them. Now, Chris, you said you've been an Aurora user for, what, about 4 years now?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. And it's right now your go-to converter in your rig?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I use them every day. Whether it's in a tracking situation or a mixing situation. They allow me to hear, hopefully, exactly what I'm trying to either record or mix. You know, it's for me, it's my go-to box. You know,
so well, why don't you talk a little bit about your rig and how it's put together and what you got going?
Yeah, I have been using Pro Tools for quite a long time, and several years ago I did a shootout where I was able to hear several different companies' sets of converters, and just kind of through a blind listening test, we chose Auroras, kind of hands down. So from that point on, I started recording into Pro Tools with the Aurora converters, and then also at the mix stage I was using them to print and listen to my mixes, and that just became a mainstay of my workflow. And then when I built a second studio for myself, just to have as kind of an overdub mix room for me to work in, that was the first purchase, was the 16 channel box, where I was putting together a rig that I could have basically for my own studio, but at the same time in a situation where I could basically throw the ears on my Pro Tools rig and take it anywhere I needed to go. So it's a mobile situation for me that I use every day, whether it's in a live situation or in a studio situation. It allowed me to basically maintain consistency everywhere I work.
Mm-hmm, sure.
The thing that really impressed me was the plug and playability of it. I mean, when I was putting the rig together myself, my intern and I were basically assembling the Pro Tools rig, and that was the fastest part of the assembly process. We put the chip in, plugged it into the computer, and boom, it showed up, just like a 192. And so now when I travel, I can just take it out of the rack, throw it in a little, 1 or 2 space rack little unit, and my studio is basically everywhere I go.
Right.
So it allows me ease of use anywhere I want to work.
Sure. Yeah, it was a design goal to make it where if you knew how to use 192, you're going to know how to use the Aurora. Talk a little bit about perhaps what sonically attracts you to it. What are the characteristics that make you like it as much as?
I kind of tend to be kind of a no bells and whistles kind of guy, and the main thing for me in recording is trying to capture the sound source. And it's amazing to me how many people actually don't walk in the room to listen to what they're recording, because they have either a specific formula of the way they like to do things, and for me, I really like to try to capture what that actual element is, and to me that brings the uniqueness to the recording. And the Auroras to me sound exactly like what I listen to when I walk out there. And there's very little coloration, and there's a lot of transparency, whether it's recording jazz or recording rock music or electronic music. And a couple of the guys I work with, I was saying that they record a lot of classical music. It translates all the way across the board. So to me, that's kind of what I'm after. I have other pieces of gear that allow me coloration, but with these, I want them to sound exactly like what I expect when I walk back in front of the speakers and listen. For me, basically what I'm after is trying to capture what I'm hearing with my ears. Mm-hmm. So the Auroras were definitely, to me, the choice that I lean towards to achieve that. The workflow for me has always been about ease of use and reliability, and that's been the mainstay in my rig, like I said, for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's allowed me a consistent level of return clients because they're satisfied with the way that things have worked. And I'm mainly trying to take the studio equation out of the recording process, and knowing that every time I walk in the door, this stuff is going to work. It makes it that much easier for me to concentrate on music as opposed to the technical.
Yeah, rather than a nail biter.
Right.
What's going to happen on a power up today?
Yeah.